everybody, welcome back to 366 Days of Hope. My name is Pearl and I'm here to share our next object lesson, which is with great pain comes great wisdom. I was watching an interview on the YouTube channel called Diary of a CEO of Wendy Suzuki, and in her interview she talked about how her personal trainer was making this statement, with great pain comes great wisdom, while she was working out. And during this time in her life, she had just lost her father and her brother all within the same week. And she describes it as this unfathomable grief. And when her personal trainer ended up saying this, she was thinking to herself, what could possibly be on the other side of pain? Where you would have wisdom. Like, what is that wisdom? And she kind of clung to that. And as she meditated, she realized it was because of the great love that she had for her father and her brother that she experienced the greatest pain of loss. And to her, it was, I guess, comforting, and I guess for her it was just like, well, that was the wisdom. And I like how she said it better, which she said, on the other side of unfathomable grief was her deep love for her brother and her father. And when I thought about, okay, well, what are the wisdoms that could possibly come from pain, aside maybe from that you recognize, okay, I deeply love someone, and maybe this is why I feel so much grief, to such an extent that it just feels like it's ruining my life, where I don't, want to do anything. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to wallow in my pain. And I realized there's a lot to wisdom and pain. Pain was created to help us see that this world is imperfect in all of its ways. And when I think about pain, I think of pain that comes from, maybe toxic relationships. Maybe it's pain from abuse. Maybe it's pain from loss. Maybe it's pain from accidents. All of these different types of pain, there is definitely on the other side of it wisdom. And I think about the first one that came to mind was the ability to develop compassion and empathy for each other. When we go through pain that someone else can resonate with, it can express compassion and empathy for each other. And we wouldn't feel that otherwise if we don't know what it's like to be in someone else's shoes, right? We always talk about being able to walk in someone else's shoes, or to walk a mile in their shoes, are kind of like the sayings that we say. And when I think about that, I completely see that in our society, because you've got groups where people who are fighting cancer, you've got huge groups of people who have that. You've got like the Parkinson's Foundation, like where they all come together because of a common experience. And everyone who experiences the same things, and it's kind of surrounding a topic of pain. The pain of realizing you're diagnosed with a disease, and or having overcome a disease, like with cancer. I mean, those are things that we can resonate and understand and have empathy and compassion towards other people. The other one is just, we can comprehend love a little bit more. Because we have compassion and empathy, we love a little deeper when we know what it's like to be in pain. And I love what someone else had said to me when they went through one of their medical situations. They said, that's why I treat people with so much more empathy and kindness and love, because I saw what it was like for me, and I had so much that I had lost in my own strength, and I realized I didn't love as much. But now, when so much compassion was shown me, even though I didn't feel like I deserved it because of certain aspects of their circumstance, they were able to give deeper love to other people. And I feel like that happens when you experience pain. I feel also that it's a way for us to comprehend our own strengths and weaknesses. Like when we are dealing with pain, we can see how we react to pain. Like, are we, the type of person who wants to give up because we're experiencing pain? Are we the type of person who, isn't willing to be resilient? But then you see this strength of humanity where you see people who go through incredible amounts of pain or trials, and they are just like forging forward, refusing to give up. They're resilient, they're fighting, and that's a huge testament to their strength. And there are, and I'm not saying that weaknesses don't happen in humanity. I think they do. Like when you deal with certain pains, or maybe you're diagnosed with something, do you crumble? Absolutely, most likely. It happens at first. Like they talk about, the processes of grief, or the first one's denial, right? Like you're denying like that this is actually happening because you're trying to still process it. And then you go through anger and grief and all of these different things that your body kind of deals with to try and understand the circumstances. And through that pain, there's definitely great wisdom. And the other one is, I feel like it lets us know of our deep need of something bigger than us. I feel like when we go through deep pain, there's this sense of ultimate surrender. And I don't know if you've gotten to that point or if you've experienced what I'm saying. It's like I've seen that with a lot of people where they're just like, you know what, I can't handle all of this pain and grief by myself. Like I need something bigger than me. I need something to lean on. And the thing I think of personally is I think of Job. Like within 5 minutes, he lost everything. He lost his livelihood, he lost his children, he lost his servants, he lost everything. And yet he leaned into something bigger than himself, and he trusted in God regardless. And he maintained that faith, and what a testament his faith was, that he was later blessed because of it. And that leads me to my last one, which is we're able to comprehend God's love towards us. And when I think about Christ's death on the cross, that to me was a deep pain that in God's wisdom, he ended up defeating Satan, sin, and death all by his own death because of his love towards us and his deep love towards us. And to me, it's an incredible amount of wisdom to use love as a means of annihilating the evil that exists in the end. Honestly, I think it's the wisest thing. And I don't think anyone could have orchestrated that any better. It makes me appreciative of realizing, wow, all this pain will eventually be gone and it will no longer exist. But because we have experienced it, we know the wiser. It's not worth it. And I think that's where, kind of like our parents, where they've experienced life, and so when they sit there and tell us like, oh yeah, no, I've been down that road, I don't want you to go down that road, I have experienced it, I've done it, and they're trying to protect us. And I think there is definitely great wisdom. I think the saying is, life experience is the greatest teacher. And I think that sometimes if we can avoid as much pain by living rightly, we'd like that. But I think that pain also helps build our character, which is the last point of wisdom. I believe that when we experience pain, it is to develop different aspects of our character so that we can be a light for others. And so I hope that it encourages you guys that if you are going through great pain, know that there is also great wisdom. With that said, guys, may you live, thrive, and be healthy. Take care. Bye!